Hello trainers, Ganeto here, and since everyone is using either a Clodsire up on the lead or something like a flyer to counter Clodsire, it made me think that perhaps this is the perfect timing to use my Powder Snow Alola Sandslash up on the lead, and in doing so we had great success with this exact team. So at the back we're gonna pair it up with our Medicham and Mandibuzz, two thick Pokemon to counter anything else that our Sandslash over here is afraid of, and most probably other fighters in the meta other than Medicham. So at this point we're just gonna go with the Ice Punches over that Mandibuzz, and it makes me think that this Clodsire was sacrificed pretty easily, and seeing the Mandibuzz also makes me think that perhaps at the back they have something like a second flyer for sure. So let's see if that's gonna be the issue here, because the second move is coming up and I'm definitely blocking up. So I was counting the moves and I was pretty surprised they're gonna reach here to another Dark Pulse, and to be fair, it is no Dark Pulse at all. We can still survive the RLAs, and now they return into the battle with their final Pokemon, which is indeed the Flyer. So yeah, here comes now another Ice Punch, one for the shield, one for the chip damage over that Pelipper, and at this point we can easily reach to the Dark Pulse to most probably push them in top lefting this battle, as it seems the Hurricane will not even deal enough damage to put us at the Weather Ball range, so that Dark Pulse will definitely do the trick and they will surrender this battle. Into the next one now, and we're facing the Pelipper, but this time up on the lead. You know what, I really like my chances, especially when we're using the Powder Snow version of Alola Sandslash and when we are not Shadow at all. This means that we can take hits much easier, and that's why I recommend it with Powder Snow without using Shadow on your Sandslash if that's the issue. If you have a Shadow, feel free to use it, be my guest. And of course you're gonna be kinda in a pickle when facing certain Pokemon like Ghost types if you do not have Shadow Claw, but still with Powder Snow we're aiming for a different audience over that Great League format. So as you can see here, Frostlass is gonna be kind of a troublemaker, but still we can finish it off after sacrificing one shield in the process. Now another Dark Pulse is imminent for that poor Pelipper, and they have the Hurricane for massive damage on our Pokemon. Doesn't matter though, the RLAs is still ready to go. Are they gonna block it? Yes they are. Now they have no shields at all, and we can return into the battle with our Sandslash. It all depends on what they have as their third Pokemon, because to be fair, we're relying a lot here on our Medicham. It is gonna be a Ghost type Pokemon, so the battle is definitely not over yet, but this Ghost type is not Sableye. Instead it's gonna be a part Grass one, which means that those Ice Punches are still gonna deal enough damage. We need to respect their own damage though, and of course I'm gonna block, and right after we can get there to the Ice Punch to finish off that poor Trevenant, and even if they get here to the Weather Ball, we can still survive it and still bring them down with our final punch. That battle was absolutely insane. Let's see now the next battle, and we're having Powder Snow over that Lantern. So obviously sometimes you need Shadow Claw, but this is not the target Pokemon that we're aiming for. That's why I'm having Powder Snow. I'm saying this all the time because I feel like someone on the comments is gonna mention this as an issue for this video, but it definitely is not an issue at all. I have a Shadow Claw one, but I prefer to use Powder Snow because I am aiming for either Flyers or just Clodsire in total. Anyways, now on the Switch we're meeting up with that Sableye, and since they are Switch locked in here, I will avoid this matchup with my Medicham and gonna bring my Mandibuzz into play. You know what, I know that they still have a Pokemon like this Lantern, which means that my Mandibuzz is gonna be in deep trouble, so I'm just gonna sacrifice it here for the greater good without spending any shields at all, and of course I will rely completely on my Medicham for the end game. You saw before that even against our counters, if we have the shield advantage, Medicham is an absolute threat, so perhaps we can still have a chance here even against a flyer like this Mandibuzz of their own. The good news is that they do not have at all Earth Slash, which is pretty great. We can still survive one RLAs to be fair, and right after we can still push for the knockout eventually with all those Ice Punches. The battle is definitely not over yet, even though we have the 2 shield flex and we need to start blocking our moves. Actually their moves, not our. We cannot do that. So here comes now another Ice Punch to bring that Mandibuzz extremely low, but at this point they can still reach to their final attack. So Aerial Ace here cannot be taken, down goes my final shield, and right after we have the chance to get to the Ice Punch on the CMP, bring to no HP that Mandibuzz and the Lantern at the same time, and we're gonna take a clutch victory for this video. Into the next one now, and we're having now Steelix up on the lead, kind of a good one for us, and we're facing now on the switch Medicham. You know what, against that Steelix now, we have two severe counters for it, while Mandibuzz has definitely served its role as the anti-fighter Pokemon. So here comes now another move. I know I can survive it, and even though I might fall down if they block here, we can still bring them to no HP with our Medicham of our own. So here comes now the Aerial Ace, and before we farm down, they are gonna unleash the power of their final charge attack. It doesn't matter at all. I was not counting correctly as it seems, because I could easily go for back-to-back Aerial Aces for that Medicham, but of course that was a mistake of my own. So here comes now the Breaking Swipe, which I know I can take, and right after I will switch out to clear the debuff onto my Sandslash, and at the back they have a Basidon. So that was an ABA team, which is pretty interesting. I have seen that team work, and people are using Registeel over Steelix on the lead. But overall you need to sacrifice that first Steel Pokemon, and my opponent did not do that, so now they are in a pickle. Doesn't matter, another Drill Run is coming up for the Basidon to faint, and even though now they can farm down with Steelix, my Medicham will most likely emerge victorious here, since we have the two shields to flex, and right after we can still reach to the Ice Punch and perhaps the complete farm down with those counters. I don't believe that Ice Punch is gonna be enough even from this range to a Shadow Pokemon because of the debuff, but still they have nothing else to throw, and we're gonna get that victory eventually. Into the next battle now, trainers, and we're having Azumarill up on the lead. This Pokemon is always troublesome, and when we're having Powder Snow, it is getting even bigger as a threat. So if they reach here to the Hydro Pump, it might be over, but most Azumarills do not even run it, so I will just take that risk. Most Azumarills are gonna run Ice Beam with Play Rough, and we can take kind of advantage of that. Even if we get hit here by a Hydro Pump, I'm pretty fine by it, because we can still rely on our Medicham for the end game. Doesn't matter, here comes now our Drill Run to finish off Azumarill, and now we have the Ice Punch ready to go to follow whatever comes into the battle. It is gonna be Clodsire, so super effective damage and cheap damage to be fair to that bulky beast, and right now we're gonna return into the battle with our Medicham. So whatever they throw here, I'm pretty positive that we can take it, and right after we can still bring it to no HP in a single attack. So here comes now Gligar, which was kinda controversial at this point. I was not sure why they switched out, but perhaps they think that our final Pokemon might be weak to Clodsire and they're gonna need it for the end game. So we have brought that Gligar super low at this point, that one Aerial Ace might actually do the trick over here, and even though they can survive with 1 HP, it doesn't matter at all. Their own Aerial Ace will do almost no damage at all to my bulky flying Dementor, and Dementor here can also tank whatever they throw, if that is not gonna be Stone Edge, because yeah, Clodsire can still learn Stone Edge, which is pretty tricky. Doesn't matter, another move is coming up, and we have to respect it since we have a lot of energy to spare here, and most probably we're gonna grab both of them shields out of the way. Aerial Ace is coming up, down they go with a shield, one more to finish off, or just thread the shield, but as it seems they just surrendered this battle, and we're gonna take this victory as well. So against the Sableye now, without having Shadowclaw, it makes kinda the same result, I believe, because Shadowclaw is still not gonna be super effective due to its dark typing, and of course we can still rely on our Powder Snows here to do some severe work alongside those Ice Punches. Another Ice Punch is coming up. Are they gonna respect this time the damage and block up? Yes, they are. And right after, I will try to catch the move on my Mandibuzz, but as it seems, they saw that switch coming, so now they will throw Return return. So doesn't matter at all, because now we have that Alolan Sandslash of their own out of the way, and we can still do some cheap damage over that Pokemon. So here comes now the Ice Punch of that Alolan Sandslash, and you know what, they can still farm down, which is getting super crucial. I should have gone here for that Aerial Ace. Perhaps we could draw a shield in the process, but it doesn't matter at all, because Medicham can still go in and start farming down all that remaining energy. I'm expecting that Sableye to return, but instead they bring their Venusaur. They want to definitely avoid the matchup with my Alolan Sandslash, and seeing that they can take the move, I'm just gonna press immediately the Ice Punch. I know that even if they switch out, I can still have the upper hand with my Sandslash over here, because if they have to block, otherwise they're gonna go down, and even if they block here, you can see that we can get out of this matchup with a complete Ice Punch ready to go, and we're gonna take this victory for this battle. Into the final one now, trainers, and we're having Alolan Sandslash on the mirror, the regular against the shadow, good against evil, and we're facing on the switch Pelipper. Unfortunately for us, they managed to catch a drill run, which is well played by my opponent, and the plan was well executed over here, while at the same time we can switch out to our Mandibuzz to start catching some moves of our own after we overfarm a lot to get that energy lead over that Sandslash that my opponent is having. Dark Pulse will definitely finish off here Pelipper, and now on the switch we are meeting up with the Sandslash for the second time. This time though we have some energy to spare, and of course my Dark Pulse is gonna do enough damage to try and provoke some shields in the process. Here comes now the drill run, and you know what, at the back they have this Deoxys, so we have kinda similar teams, because we both have a Sandslash, we both have a Mandibuzz, and of course as our third Pokemon they might have a counter user on the face of Deoxys, but we have another Psychic counter user on the face of Medicham, so this must be fate, right? Here comes now the Thunderbolt, but at this point we have the upper hand, and especially with the counters being double super effective to the Alolan Sandslash, we're gonna grab that victory. Thank you for watching, trainers, and for staying till the end. As usual, go ahead and like this video, become a subscriber if you are not one, and feel free to check any of these two videos that might be of interest to you. With that said, once again, thank you for watching, and I will see you all into our next upload.